Boom. What is up, all you amazing Comfort and Chaos teammates? And welcome back to another episode of Comfort and Chaos with me and, of course, my main man, Will. Anyways, guys, we're not going to waste too much of your time, so hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the links down below. If you like the flags behind us, you know this amazing flag display, handcrafted, made from wood. The links will be in the description. Christmas is around the corner, so don't hesitate and don't be late with your gift. All right?
Yeah, man.
Anyways,
I just had one of these made for somebody for a retirement gift, and came out absolutely amazing.
Hell yeah!
Like you definitely want to hit this guy up and have him make your flag for you, because it's guaranteed to come out absolutely beautiful every single time.
Hell yeah! Homemade, handcrafted, guys. American made. All right, it'll last forever. Anyways, guys, links will be in the description down below. We won't waste too much of your time. As you know, team, there's a lot of chaos going on right now with the Trump rally. All right. There was a big rally, if you haven't already heard, which I'm sure most of you have, in the Madison Square Garden, where there was a series, I think, Will, correct me if I'm wrong, that rally lasted, like 6 hours?
I think it might have even been longer than that. They had a lot of folks coming up there.
A lot of folks.
Tony, Dr. Phil, Hulk Hogan, all of the folks that you would expect to headline a Trump rally. Friggin' old Kamala hanging out there with Beyonce for 3 fucking minutes, and then she comes out for 3 minutes. Everybody thought she was going to perform. They realized she wasn't going to perform, and people started leaving her rally.
It was pretty crazy. I mean, there was a lot of craziness, a lot of chaos went on this past 48 hours. But with that team, we want to discuss. Obviously, there's a lot of hype going on, a lot of hype, a lot of rage, a lot of just whatever you want to call it right now, focused around a certain comedian that went and spoke at the Trump rally. And this is a comedian who I am very familiar with, especially because I live in the Texas area. And I've actually been to the Kill Tony shows, which this comedian is a host of, founder of, and a very well endowed. I think it is one of the fastest growing live podcasts because they're recorded live out of Austin, Texas. And I've actually been to this show. I've been to it twice, and it was a great time, honestly. But his style of comedy is His style of comedy is very upfront and very unfiltered. But that is his style of comedy. So you kind of know what you're going to get when you go to his shows. And I will even say, just from personal experience, when you go to his shows, he literally makes everybody lock their cell phones up in a bag. So you have to literally turn your phones in, and they secure them in a bag, and you put that bag in your pocket. They don't keep your phones from you, but you keep that bag. And then at the end of the show, you go and get it unlocked by the staff. And it is just because he just knows his style of comedy, and you're going to get everything there. You're going to get everything. They make fun of everything, every social issue, everything going on in the world. They just make fun of everything, all political parties, and they do it in a comedy fashion. And he went and spoke at the Trump rally, and I guess his bit, I don't know, Will, would you call it a bit?
Yeah, I'd call it. He did 10 minutes. He did a 10-minute stand-up routine.
Exactly, a 10-minute stand-up routine. Yeah. At a political presidential rally. Yeah. Now, I personally don't know if that was the place for that, knowing that all the different eyes and just the way, the shape and form that our media is set up as currently. But I don't know. Will, before we get into this, I want to know, what are your thoughts on this?
First, that's the second time you've called a man well endowed.
Oh my gosh!
Very recently,
dude, this guy.
If
get him a script, I'm telling you, he's going off script every time.
What fucking script? I love Tony Hinchcliffe. Like, I think he's absolutely hilarious. And it's right. If you don't know Kill Tony, I think it is the largest live YouTube show on the internet today.
It really is.
It snags a ridiculous amount of viewers every episode. He has sold out Madison Square Garden multiple times, including
Yes, he has.
the Kill Tony show. He absolutely crushed it. He did that Netflix roast of Tom Brady, absolutely killed.
Oh yeah.
Super, super funny dude. And I really think, right, like this is also kind of showing, like, I get the point to a degree, right? When you're talking about a presidential election, right? Like, is that the guy that you want speaking at one of your events? Right? Like,
I mean, I'll even tie it up like this, man. So those of you who don't know, Will here, my co-host, he's held a series of very prominent positions within the military. All right, and it might be the closest. I mean, you can't really compare it to a presidential election, but you can still compare it to like a position where there are ceremonies, there are important venues where you can have guest speakers, you arrange things. And I'll ask you, Will, if you were to go back into time, would Tony Hinchcliffe be the guy that you would have speak at one of your LPDs or one of your ceremonies?
You're asking the wrong dude to you that. Because you know I would do it in a heartbeat. Just because. Right, like I think this also shows, right, like that there's that part of it, right? Like where like, hey, like you're in the final days of a presidential election, maybe that's not the guy. But at the same time, right, this also kind of shows, right, where the two parties are in regards to norms and their ability to look at something and laugh and have unadulterated, ridiculous free speech. Elon was at that event as well. Who's really kind of been a free speech champion with his acquisition of the artist formerly known as Twitter, and then what he's done trying to stand up to censorship in foreign countries. So, you know, you've got an absolutely hilarious dude, really kind of throwing it out there and telling some funny jokes, but it absolutely gave some lines, obviously, some of those talking points to the other side. Does it really matter at this point? I don't know. I think anybody who is on the Trump fence, did that push anybody off? I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, and at the same time, you've got, you know, the Harris campaign basically calling Trump and everybody at that event and all of his supporters Nazis at this point. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's right. Like, when you're saying shit like that, right? It cheapens the attack, and you know you're saying something just as fucking heinous. And it's not funny. Like, it's not a joke, right? Like, you got a comedian telling a joke and then you calling people a fucking Nazi. Like, you basically calling half the fucking country a Nazi. Like, not cool.
That doesn't really spark the unity platform or doesn't engage the unity platform that you're supposedly standing on.
Yeah, it was joy. It's not joy anymore. It's not.
But I will say this, and this is something that I would say that, and I'm speaking solely off personal opinion here, and you guys can take it for what you want. But when you do think about who you're electing as president, think of it more of like it's the job that you're putting somebody to do a job temporarily, you know, and I had a discussion today with an individual regarding this, and don't worry about who's going out there. Like, you shouldn't pay attention about who's going out there and speaking on their behalf and all that stuff. No, that they're not the ones going in that job. You're going to pick somebody who's going to go do a job in an area where everybody, think about it, nowadays it's a very dog eat dog. It's very ruthless. It's a very stressful job. It's not a job everybody wants. So you want somebody, if you're going to send somebody to the jungle and their job is to go into the jungle, I personally am going to want somebody who can be a savage. Honestly, I'm just saying, because if I'm putting my security, my future, my welfare in the hands of a leader, I want to make sure that leader has the ability to be a savage when it comes time to be a savage, and be professional when it's time to be professional. That is my own personal perspective. And I would encourage you guys to kind of take that and think about it, let it cook for a little bit. And I mean, you guys are always willing. I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion, but that is just my opinion. So sometimes at all these rallies, regardless of who's running, I never really focus on who's there. I don't focus on who they got speaking at their rallies or who they got performing and all that. To me, it doesn't matter. I look more of like, okay, it's all about who I'm about to put in that seat and fulfill that job, because they're only going to fulfill that job temporarily, regardless or not. Just like Will and I, when you're in the military, I always tell everybody, at some point, you're going to hang up that uniform. So what are you going to do after that? What are you going to do? Because you're going to hang it up. Everybody does. So the job is temporary. And Will knows too, we hold a job or a position in the military, it's temporary. We can't hold on to that for 20 years. You're going to move. They will move you. And how you perform and how you handle that job, that is going to be based on you, And in this situation, I see it as like, hey, you know what? He had a comedian out there. Hey, was it a good call? Was it not a good call? You know what? That's not on me. All right. I'm more for the individual who's going to go into that job, who's going to be the best fit. That's what I'm looking after. At least that's for me, Will. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I just wanted to share my 2 cents because I've had this conversation earlier today. And that was kind of like what I laid into. You don't be distracted by the media. Media is going to exploit all these people who are speaking. Elon Musk is doing this. You know what? Don't worry. They're not in that seat. It's who you think is going to be in that seat, and you're going to pick the best person for that job. That's kind of like how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you, right? Do I want Elon and Dr. Phil and a dude like Tony Hinchcliffe in my corner, or do I want the pedophile ring that is that is currently running around Hollywood, allegedly. Allegedly. Why do you keep winking? Why do you keep fucking winking like that? That's weird.
Is your eye twitching, dude? A little potassium deficiency?
Slight
seizure. You gotta eat more bananas.
I eat them for the shape and not the taste. Let's let's look at that Tony video,
just
man.
Say I eat them for the shape or the guys. Get this guy a freaking script, okay? Please get him a script.
I said for the shape and not the taste. Now, let's look at this.
Oh gosh,
video.
Okay. Here you guys go. This is Tony Hinchcliffe live at Madison Square Garden speaking at the Trump rally.
Please welcome to the stage comedian.
And we're going to be skipping through this a little bit.
Okay.
All right, gangster. So he is the opening as well. Like, this is the opening act. Right? He is the first guy walking up on stage.
Madison Square Garden, how we feeling, huh? Wow, isn't this special? 17 years ago, I was sleeping in my car behind the Comedy Store in LA, and I'm proud to say this is my 4th time performing at Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the damn world. The American dream, alive and well, right here. This is very different than where I'm used to performing, though. I'm used to nighttime with people drinking, not so many babies in the crowd, and people that are obviously only here for Lee Greenwood tonight. Normally, I don't make my political beliefs a known thing. It's divisive for a comedian to do that, but just know I sleep well at night knowing who I'm voting for. Yeah. When I lay down and my head hits my pillow, it is a fantastic pillow, by the way. I was staying at the Four Seasons up by Central Park one night, and I laid my head down, and it felt so good, and I thought to myself, what an amazing pillow. I have a little bit of money now. I could buy a good pillow. And I took the pillowcase off, and there it was. My pillow, my pillow, my pillow. And damn it, I bought 4 of them. And if you use the promo code KillTony, you can also buy 4 My Pillows. There's serious stuff happening, people. I live in the great state of Texas now. 18 years in Ohio, 20 years in California, and I got to see California turn to absolute horrendous thing. And traveling the world, I got to see San Francisco turn into one of the most demented cities, one of the greatest downfalls I've ever seen. And that is where the other candidate worked for 2 decades. And it's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible. Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And
this is the stuff, right? Like, this is where we're getting into like those points where, oh, he's a raging racist. He's a Nazi. And you're like, he's a comedian telling a joke.
Yeah, he's telling a joke. And I mean, I'm Latino and we joke about ourselves all the time. In fact, we're like our own hardest critics. Let me tell you, when I get together with my uncles, yeah, you better be ready. You better not have no thin skin because it's coming. It's coming. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not really.
Are you offended?
I definitely haven't heard anything offended at all.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, you can if you try minimizing your video instead of expanding it. Try minimizing it. I want to just see something.
Yeah, let's do that. Where are we at here?
Just on. There you go. Just try it like that. Let's see.
Because they love making babies too. Just know that.
There we go.
They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor. Free speech is under attack, people. I host a show, and each week I get updates what words we're allowed to use and not use anymore. It's happening right now the past few years. It's a real thing. And, you know, used to be able to tell people to Google stuff. My mom's a boomer in the state of Ohio, and there's no convincing her of anything. She's eating the cats. She's eating the dogs. They're eating the pets up there. It is absolutely wild times. It really,
you can tell he's
is.
not used to.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow.
Yeah. So I can see, based off that, I mean, I can see somebody who obviously doesn't know who he is. If you're not familiar with his comedy, I can see how that can be kind of like someone taking that to an offense, like, especially if you're Puerto Rican. And I work with a lot of Puerto Ricans. So now I'm curious. I'm curious what their thoughts on this, if they even watch it. But I promise you, not a lot. I mean, as big as Tony Hinchcliffe is, there's probably a lot of people who still don't know who he is, especially if you're on that, if you're on a certain political side where you don't really watch this kind of comedy. So you're going to hear that, automatically see that Trump vent sign in frund of him, and you're going to automatically see him like, what the hell? You know, I can see that. You know, I'm just trying to see it from both sides here.
Sure. Like, and that, I think that was the biggest, soundbite that they took out of it was
easy.
calling Puerto Rico a floating trash island.
Of trash. I think there's a lot worse islands, though, to be honest. And I've been to some islands out there.
Sure.
Let's just put it this way, team. There's islands out there where you better not even let them know you're American. Let's just put it that way. All right.
Yeah.
You want to make sure your security is definitely your primary concern at some of these islands. So,
like Puerto Rico,
the world can be ruthless. I didn't say that. He said that, but the world can. The world is very different outside these borders. Just keep that in mind, team.
Follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup. There's some people here. All right. Very good.
He knows.
I like it. I have other policies that I think it should be implemented as well. Like me personally, I think football should be all year round. Yeah. So many great athletes. I don't know about you guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson. Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Oh, that's what you guys want. All right. Heck yeah. It's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. You guys are...
Oh, jeez. Yo, Tony Hinchcliffe, man. I got to hand it to him, dude.
He don't pull any punches.
He doesn't. And, it's nice to know, at least in the world of comedy, and I'm a big fan of comedy, but it's nice to know at least there's comedians out there who are just, this is who they are. This is what you're going to get. You go to a Tony Hinchcliffe show, get ready. You better not go with thin skin and just expect to just laugh. If you can't laugh at yourself, laugh at others and just have a good time. And he's definitely one of those guys, and he's notoriously, and correct me if I'm wrong, Will, but he's notoriously known for his crowd work. Like that's what he does.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He'll nitpick the whole crowd. Even at his shows, he would do the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's so much a Kill Tony if you've ever seen it. And I mean, like the folks that he gives big breaks to, it's pretty impressive. Like, I mean, he's turning, he's giving shots to comedians with some pretty severe disabilities and stuff like that, are able to make fun of each other.
Normal people would just wave off. Society would just wave off.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and he's turning some of these folks into some pretty big stars. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah. Watch. Hell yeah.
This is a groany little morning crowd, huh? It's tough to follow this audition for the next Commissioner Gordon's over here. It is, though. It's crazy times we're living in. I mean, all these pointless wars. It is unbelievable what's happening right now. It is incredible. Ukraine versus Russia, Israel, it's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? What are we doing? Why is our money involved in these wars? When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw rock every time. But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking.
Hey, he's making fun of both sides. I get it.
Everybody
Clinton
catching
said
hands.
that this is a Nazi rally here today. Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler. Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns. Yeah, Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I commit suicide in 3 weeks, I didn't.
Damn.
I mean, it's just obvious to me who the right candidate is. There's a guy out here dodging bullets. It is unbelievable, right?
Yeah. I mean, he pretty much goes on to talk about him getting shot in the ear. It cracks a few more jokes, but for the most part, like that was a lot of the negative sound bites that were taken, were captured, and then he said racist shit. It's like, I didn't realize comedians didn't say racist shit. Like that's it's every comedian on the fucking planet who's even semi-famous. Like, have you ever watched Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor
or even George Carlin?
George Carlin, like
he's a bit. I'm a
Carlos
huge fan of George
Mencia,
Carlin.
like,
I mean, it's literally, it's like the first thing they do to get content or to develop a bit is they go right after whoever's the administration, like whoever it is, you know.
Sure.
That is like their first thing to do, regardless of who's in office,
Yeah.
And
but they tend not to do it at a presidential like rally,
that is true,
right?
So
but if you've ever seen the White House Correspondents' Dinner or any of those, right? Like, it's like the same shit.
They have been guests and stuff like that, yes. But I will say, I'm going to ask you, Will, have you ever known? I mean, in any presidential rally, have they ever had comedians speak?
I'm sure.
To me, this is the first time I've ever seen it. I've never.
It's the first time, right, where it's this big a deal. Like the opening comedy act. Well, like he says, some things that, right, like everybody's getting butthurt about this damn thing, right? And he says some shit that, like, of course they're gonna soundbite it and like, oh, he's right, like,
yeah,
it fits into the narrative. Let's continue this. This is my point, right? Like, if your closing argument, right, is comedians can't be funny and shouldn't say things, like that's the Dem closing argument, like,
yeah,
that's it for real, like that's what you got, like that.
No,
that's it.
It is true. It is true. And
come on,
it's sad because I feel like, and nothing. I mean, I feel like if they can just, I feel like both weren't so much, if we didn't just put it on this limelight and let them just leave the room, or if there was a way where we can literally open the door for only authenticity, be yourself, literally. Both candidates, any candidate, anybody who runs for office should literally be yourself. But it's sad. And I had this conversation, Will, and I mean, and I'm not trying to, this may take us off topic or maybe a different episode, but we did do an episode before recently. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, look, scroll down below. Who's in charge?
Yeah.
And in that, if you think about it, it's like this, Will. All right. I'm going to put you in this situation. Hypothetically, retired command sergeant major, well-educated, well-endowed, a father, a husband, let's just put it this way. A gentleman comes up to you, two gentlemen in a suit. They take you out to dinner. They treat you out to a resort, a weekend, you and your family. And then they sit down with you in the lounge downstairs in the lobby, pay for everything. And they just say, hey, all right, Will, how would you feel about running for mayor of this good city here in Colorado? We think you're a good fit. You're a well-endowed man, and we're looking for
That's
somebody just like
3
you.
dudes.
And we'll take care of everything. We got the financial backing. We'll take care of everything. But we would like you to be that man. How would you feel? Think about that. What would you say? I mean, realistically,
Yeah, I mean, probably no, but we were talking about this the other day too, right? I know of people that exact kind of scenario has happened to, and they were basically pseudo asked to change their personal positions on things, right, to fit within the party box. Like, hey, if we're going to fund you, right, like we want a return on our investment. So like you're just going to have to kind of, say this stuff. And those people, right, were nah, pass. Go find some other schmuck to fill that. And unfortunately, like that definitely happens throughout the political establishments.
I feel like now it is like we have allowed it to be. We're now, me personally, I feel like that is just like it is the system. It is what, if you want to see office of any major influencing office, you cannot just run on your own authenticity and merit. You need the money. You need the backing. You need the platform. You need that. And that's how they come. They'll come. They don't want it, but you know what? You are that ROI. You're going to be their return on investment. You're going to look out for their best interests, and they're going to back you up the whole way. They're going to get you to where you need to be, And I feel like that is where we just kind of are when it comes to those influential positions in politics now.
For sure.
And I feel like that's why a lot of people just don't like Trump, because in a way, and I'm not saying, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I love to hear your thoughts because I could see the facial exchanges. I could see it, but I would love to hear your thoughts, because everyone used to always say, like, he's not a politician. Well, that's how he got elected the first time.
Yeah,
he's not a politician. He's not afraid to say what's on his mind. He's unfiltered. He's not controllable. And that's why a lot of people, let's say that platform base, were like, hey, dude, we thought you were going to do this. What's up? You're like, you fired so-and-so and he made a phone call and now they called us. What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of different things. He's definitely anti-establishment. And when you look at the direction that I think that the Democratic Party has shifted, right, from very working class, union based, right, the everyman type of party, to liberal, ultra elite, extremely well educated. Like, there's a reason why you're seeing this drastic shift, right? The blue collar vote, the non-college educated vote, right, is going right. And then, right, like your upper crust liberal, right, is going left. And you look at the policies, right? Every major leftist, you're right, and Hinchcliffe kind of hit on it there, right? Like California being a great example, like your San Francisco, like you see what is happening inside of this city.
Yeah.
Like the human feces on the street.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it's so wild, so insane. And you're like, Portland and right, Seattle,
all these beautiful cities that used to be amazing cities.
Yeah, hey, let's legalize every fucking drug on the planet and see what happens. Oh God, who would have seen that being a bad idea? Hey, let's abolish the fucking police and establish our own autonomous zone. Let's see how that works out. Oh, wait a minute. That's really, really bad. Right? And you see these just super far left policies that are so anti everything that our country was founded on, and they're being backed by one party. And you wonder why everybody's like, Jesus Christ. Like, no, I can't get behind that. The problem with Trump is, right? Yes, he says a lot of what is on his mind, but he's not the most articulate human being on the planet, and he says a lot of dumb shit, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things that can be clipped, a lot of that, and like, let's just get down to brass tacks. Like, the shit that happened on January 6th is outrageous. It's absolutely insane. And so really, like, you've got an election, right? And both sides have points. But the left, right, the Democratic, the Democrat point of view and their ability to articulate where they're coming from is just dog shit. It just is. They're running on a platform of orange man bad. Every one of their policies has been a pseudo abject failure over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And they've been in power, 12 out of 16?
That's true.
And I would argue a lot of people see the direction of the country going the wrong way, right? And they are trying to establish Kamala Harris as a change candidate. It's not working. Like, it was a bad strategy. It was a terrible strategy. If you would have a Tulsi Gabbard, like before they basically ostracized her from the party, a center left person run up against Trump, they wipe the floor. But it's
very true.
Well, you didn't get rid of the fucking non-sentient human that is currently in the presidency, is currently the president of the United States that is fucking DOA like 8 months ago. And you appointed a person that ran to the left of fucking Bernie Sanders 4 years ago, like, and got blown out of the fucking water.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I totally agree. And it's like that video we did where we saw the Tim Dillon version of it, where he's just like, before every interview, she should just be like, shh, hey, I don't need to tell you this, but I'm not really going to be president. I'm not really going to be president, but let's go ahead and go on with this stuff.
And she might be, and he might be. One of the two of them is going to be.
Hey,
we
regardless,
had a better option.
And you know what? Hey, regardless of who it is, and you will more this more than anybody else, that's going to be my boss. That's going to be whoever is going to be. I got to follow those orders regardless. So I just hope America chooses wisely, and regardless, I will serve my duty. But I will say this, it's funny because you brought that up, and I had this conversation too about because January 6th, we'll all admit, was a shit show. You know, I can easily say that was just a shit show. You know, and I'm not saying this is one person was to blame, but I will say, what do you expect when you get a rally of emotional people? Because we've seen it. I mean, to me, you can't have a standard be selective. You got to see it across the board. Look at the data. You get a rally of emotional people.
Sure.
Get ready, because it's going to be chaos. And I will say this, regardless of how this election goes, do you think there will be rally? Let's just hypothetically, let's say Trump wins. You think there's going to be rallies? There's going to be riots. Exactly. Yes. And do you think there's going to be rallies at the Capitol as well? And
quite possibly.
If there is, would those be classified and counted as an Insurrection Act too as well? Because if they get emotional and if they tally that button, I mean, I'm just going to say, I hope the standards are not selective. That's all I'm going to say. I hope the standards are not selective.
Oh, I think either way it goes, like, there's going to be a level of just batshit chaos coming.
Oh yeah.
And I hope it's not much. I hope everybody just goes back to like, okay,
dude,
go back to normal life.
Go back to normal life. It's done. Hey, whatever it is,
I'll vote again the next election. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like
Exactly.
the country has chosen. Let's move on.
And
right?
let's move on.
Right? Like, hey, I want my president to be successful. I want them to be healthy. I want them to govern the country appropriately, and I will call them on their bullshit when they don't. And
life will go on.
Use my vote wisely for them, the people that support them, the people that back them, and so on and so forth. And we will move forward. And I will vote for where I think the country needs to be headed. Full stop. Like,
exactly. Well, very well said, because that's literally what it comes down to. And that's just a hard fact. So no matter how much times, if you really know you want to go out there and protest and do all this crazy stuff, you know what, dude, save it. Save the energy, save the resources. You know, hey, it's done.
Sure.
The decision was made. It's not going to change regardless of who takes office and regardless who wins. It's just done. And just plan for the future. All right. What do you got to do? Take care of your circles, take care of yourself, and let's move forward. You're going to be safe. I promise you, regardless, you're going to be safe. All right. That's one of the benefits of being in this country is you're going to be safe. Why do you think everybody is trying to come over here? You know, because they know. They just know, you know. On that note, team, don't forget, we got a live broadcast election day. Be here or be square. All right. We're going to embrace that chaos together and have fun. Okay. We're going to have fun and we're going to find comfort in it. All right. So if you don't know what we're talking about, tune in here election night. If you haven't already, hit that notification tab and comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on the Tony Hinchcliffe bit. You know, was it just comedy? Was it just a comedy bit that you guys are familiar with? Or do you think he just pushed the limits too far? Or also, do you think a presidential rally is a place for comedians to come out and give a bit? You know, maybe it's more, I would say, maybe they're just more perfect for the pre-show, you know, before it starts. They're just there to kind of lighten up the crowd, you know, before the cameras are rolling and stuff, you know, and everyone's still guzzling beers and eating popcorn. Other than that, though, comment down below. Let us know your thoughts, because Will and I are both interested in hearing what you guys got to say and going forward. On that note, Will, what do you got for the team?
Hey, like, the election's coming up. You understand the assignment, right? Whichever way you think that assignment needs to go, you got to get out there, vote, make your voice heard.
That's it. It's facts, team. Get out there and vote. You know, I think there's a trend right now where people are posting selfies with their little sticker saying, I voted. Hey, go be one of those. Go take your selfie. You voted. Go vote. All right. It's your right. It's your American God-given right. So go vote. All right. Will and I have taken oaths to protect that right. So don't let it be in vain. Go vote. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hit that comment button, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one, team. Out.